Welcome to another Spiritual Awakening with yours truly, A.G. Green Sr. Welcome. So glad to be with you, whether it's morning, noon, or in many cases, night. What an honor and a privilege it is being into your electronic device and be able to connect with you through the spiritual and divine dimension. You know what to do. Tag and share and tag. Tag and share and tag. Tag, share, text, share, and tag. Tag, text, share, text, and tag. So glad to see you on tonight. Thank you for taking our time, checking in on us. What an honor and a privilege it is to see you coming into this digital conclave. Good to see you, my niece Hillary. Phyllis Rowe, good to see you. Linda, God bless all of you. And others are still coming in. Let's pray. Almighty, I'm just so thankful for this moment, this opportunity that's been granted to us. Thank you. We operate from the deepest places of your heart. Reveal to us that which has been hidden and concealed. From this revelation, I thank you for transformation. As a result of application, we're going to see increased manifestation. Thank you. Thank you for lives that are changed. Thank you for souls that are healed. I bless you. Yeshua's name, consciousness, and power. It is so. So it is. Good to see you. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Don't forget to follow me on the social media handles you see at the bottom of the screen. And also make sure you activate the notification uh, bell or icon on Facebook and YouTube. So every time that I go live, you will receive an alert. Thank you for the first set of feedback concerning hearing and seeing me. Thank you. Anybody else? Can you see and hear me well? Can you see and hear me well? Please let me know if you can see and hear me well. I always like to remind you of who and what you are. For I have discovered if you don't know who you are, you don't know where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you're wandering aimlessly in this world. And more importantly, you are operating most likely as someone else, something else that is not within the framework of your dynamic, powerful, divine, spiritual identity. You have been made by a dynamic, awesome, powerful creator who is powerful. And therefore, you are powerful. Now, to him is able to do exceeding abundantly above all that we ask or think. It's according to the power that worketh in us. The kingdom is within you, according to Luke 17:21. I am powerful. I want you to type it in the comment section and speak it out loud. I am powerful. Come on, type in the comment section. I am powerful. That's it. Type in the comment section. I am powerful. You are powerful by divine permission. You are powerful, as we would say, on purpose. It has been the Creator's and is the Creator's purpose and intent that you operate as a powerful, divine, spiritual being. I want you to type it in the comment section. I am powerful. And I want you to speak it out loud in the atmosphere. Maybe your living room, your bathroom, might be your den, your kitchen, the car, the break room. I want you to utter, declare, and decree, vocalize, I am powerful. Get the atoms in the room. Let the atoms in the room hear what you speak and come in concert with everything that you say. I am powerful. Come on, type it in the comment section. I am powerful. Never ever be afraid to own the power you have by divine permission. So many people are invested in being weak and powerless and frail and impotent. It is contrary to your very nature. It is contrary to the original design of the Creator. You and I are powerful. Own the power. Express the power. Be the power. Real quickly, type in the comment section something that you are thankful for right now. Type in the comment section something that you are thankful for. We are so thankful to God. We're so thankful for this wonderful creation, this conscious universe. We are so thankful for others who inhabit this existence with us. We are so thankful for the necessities of life. We're so thankful for the ability to give love and to receive love. What are you thankful for? Type it in the comment section right now. One thing that you are thankful for. It might be a bologna sandwich. Type it in the comment section. It might be, orange juice or juice you're sipping on. Type it in the comment section. What you are thankful for. Type what you are thankful for real quick right now. I want to see what I need to see so I know what I need to know about what you're thankful for. We're practicing praise and gratitude right now in this moment. Yes, thank you so much for sharing. Anybody else dare to share what you are thankful and grateful for, what you praise God for, what you are genuinely thankful or have a heart of gratitude about, have thanksgiving about. Thank you for typing what you type in the comment section. What a wonderful, wonderful day it is. be alive and to be well. Indeed it is. What's good? What's good? Tell me real quickly about your week. Then we're going to get into some teaching for tonight. What's good, family? What is good? What is good? How's everybody tonight? How's your week going thus far? Talk to me. Talk to me. This is your moment to express yourself and tell me how you're feeling in this moment. How's your week going? For some who are watching me live, it's what they call hump day. And others might be watching the replay uh, in terms of on demand a day after or days after. And even if you're watching then don't hesitate to comment in the comment section. Let's see, we got somebody who says they're thankful for me and my teaching. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. My Krista, thank you so much. Let's see, how's your week been going thus far? It says very good. I'm feeling at ease, practicing gratitude and thankfulness. To everything, give thanks. Let's see, who else? Feeling grateful, says Linda. Wonderful, wonderful. Anybody else? Anybody else? She says, for the Heavenly Father's protection. Wonderful, wonderful. Anybody else want to share what you're grateful for? And as well as, of course, how your week has been going thus far, what's good. And tell me how your week has been going thus far. Remember, this is a highly subjective thing. We're not here to be critical of how you define or believe your life is going. I just want to check in with you. Just want to check in with you and know that you're doing what you're doing. All right. Thank you so much for sharing your wonderful, wonderful comments with me on this particular day. And it's such a blessing to be able to connect with you all in this moment. And again, it seems like many of you are doing well, and I'm grateful for that. All right, doing one more sound check, one more sound and visual check. Can you see and hear me well? Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Let me know if you can see and hear me well. Let me know if you can see and hear me well one more time before I get into the teaching on tonight. Let's see. Don't forget to visit theaggreen.com. Let's see here. Krista says, week has been going great. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. All right. And I'm still coming through good. Awesomeness, awesomeness. I want to remind you right now to make sure you tune in to visit, theaggreen.com. That's theaggreen.com. Our central hub. You can see what's going on with what we're doing ministry-wise, service-wise, production-wise, business-wise, all those other things. You can find that out at theaggreen.com. And of course, don't forget to visit divinespeciesshop.com, where you can pick up all kinds of wonderful gifts and things to aid you on your spiritual journey. Our Patreon community is continuing to grow. Several of people have read my article, although everybody didn't comment, but thank you for the comments, and we want to get some more likes and hearts on my latest article that's on Patreon. And if you are on this particular web page on Facebook, then you see that I have posted the second blog entry on reality creation. Has anybody seen my post of the latest blog entry today on the AG Green Now Facebook page? Let me see your comments. Now, those of you on YouTube, you had to go by there later and peep it out. A few people have already been there and read it. I want you to take your time after you visit and read it. I will unpack it for us in the upcoming weeks. I know it's science and everybody's not into science, but I am with intention, wonderfully placed intention, covering these subjects for our enlightenment and empowerment. All right. Have you seen it on the Facebook page? I don't see no yes or no. Have you seen the link? Have you seen the post of the latest blog entry? Let's see. Let's see. All right. My Krista says, I have read it. Very good. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Anybody else? Anybody else? All right. No, but look forward to. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much. This is part two in this installment. This is part two in this installment. All right. Let me kind of pick up where I left off. I think it was last Wednesday. Um, One of the reasons why I am spending time discussing subjects like this is because I want to, how can I put this, do a bit of deprogramming and deconstruction as it relates to what people hold as definitions of truth. I want to shed some light on the basic existential framework of reality. I have discovered that there are many, many people who, as I have done in my life, have moved through this dimension and have lived based on a collection of information. And of course, all of our information is stored in memory. And then, of course, what we've been conditioned to believe and the application of these core beliefs in encountering experiences. We are all the sum total of a myriad of things that bring us to a place that forms a core belief that ultimately is defining and deciding what reality is for us. The reason why I like to quote from not just spiritual leaders, but from physicists and scientists and people from all kinds of genres, I should say, is because there's a thread of truth that is connected from within or connected from field to field, person to person, truth to truth. And it is in the collection of these perspectives that we're going to discover exactly what truth is. Now, I want you to understand something. Hear me real clearly. Before there was religion, before there were any religious books, there were scientific laws. I'm going to say it again. Before there was religion, before there were any religious books, there were scientific laws. For example, it was not known 5,000 years ago as Newtonian and Cartesian physics. It was not known, at least among the masses. I should say that because there is a group of people that I want to get into that were quite advanced, but it was not known among the masses about quantum mechanics and quantum physics. The laws of the universe, as far as we know, have always existed as long as there has been both a spiritual and some would say quantum and physical universes. They've always existed. We, in the last few thousand years, have uncovered these laws and these principles and given them names. But just because you discovered something doesn't mean it didn't exist before you came across it. And that is the joke, the running joke, historically speaking, about the Americas, the running joke about North America, uh, in that for years, Spain and others gave Christopher Columbus credit for discovering America. And we laugh at that. And We sometimes have a belly aching laugh at that because the Americas had an indigenous people who lived here, who knew this place existed. In essence, it wasn't really discovered, it was already here, it already existed. But from their perspective, it was new. From their perspective, it did not exist before their awareness. It came into the scope of their awareness, and therefore, based on their system, they said, we discovered it. Well, universal laws and principles are the same way. There are universal laws and principles that govern the spiritual, quantum, and three-dimensional world. And as I have shared with you before, there are more than four dimensions. Our spiritual mystics have been telling us for years there are more than four dimensions. And it's only probably in the last, I guess, 30, 20, 30, 40 years that scientists are now saying the brain can comprehend up to 11 dimensions. These are things that are proven empirically through uh, investigation, through testing, through experimentation. So I want to give you some things to consider about who and what you are in this dimension. And who and what you are has a direct impact on number one, what you know, what you understand, and number two, what you are impacting in terms of what you perceive to be real and not real, what you perceive to be local and not local. So I started last week, and I'm gonna put up a PowerPoint in just a few minutes from the basis of text, Mark 9:23, and my sisters can put that up real quickly. And I wanted to kind of compare Mark 9:23, the principle of it, show you that there's a scientific principle attached to it that predates the principle spoken, believed to be have spoken, excuse me, in the first century by Yeshua. Because again, the universal law, the universal principle, whether it be spiritual or physical, has always been. All right. So I'm waiting on them to put it up real quickly. We could quote it, and then I'm going to put my PowerPoint up, and I want to show you something, and then I'm going to give you some empirical data that is going to confirm the truth of this text. Science is going to confirm the proof of this text. And Yeshua said unto them, if thou canst believe, all things are possible to him that believeth. That was King James, and NIV says, if you can, said Yeshua, everything is possible for one who believes. I I have had a lot of inner tension, conflict with this text for years because I just don't believe the average person who says they are a believer really believes this. Not only do I not think they really believe it, I don't think they practice it, and I don't think they know how to practice it, and I don't think they know how to use it because it's always attached to conditions. It's always attached to conditions. Yeshua did not attach any conditions to this. And in a theological perspective or in a theological aspect, he's talking to somebody uh, who believes in his power and authority, but yet really hasn't accepted him as the Messiah. He's there because he believes his son is grievously vexed or possessed by something sinister or evil, and he's heard of Yeshua's work and believe that he has the power to help his son. And a verse or two after this, after Yeshua says this in verse 23, he begs and pleads for Yeshua to help his unbelief. So he still struggled, although the spiritual law and spiritual principle had been shared with him. He struggled to continue, he continued, excuse me, to struggle Let me slow down. He continued to struggle to accept it, to embody it, to be it. And this is the challenge. And I could give you many, many reasons why I think the challenge is there. I could talk about the within the trichotomous realms of our existence. When I say trichotomous, I mean being spirits who possess a soul and live in a body. I can talk about the dichotomous war between flesh and spirit, between the visible and the invisible, between our native state as divine spiritual beings versus the physicality, the physical, what we call the three-dimensional world. The tension between what is real and what is not, the tension between accepting and embracing what the five senses cannot perceive as truth, knowing it as truth, and embracing it as something because it is beyond the scope of these senses to be able to analyze, to be able to somehow crudely interpret. We struggle with making a decision if something is real because it is beyond the limited scope of the five senses and the brain's interpretation thereof. There's a big, big challenge with that. But more importantly, I want you to understand on a basic, fundamental level who you are, who everybody is, regardless of what religion they practice. I want you to know who you are, and I want you to know what this universe is in conjunction with you, in coexistence with you, even in partnership with you. I want you to understand the role in the relationship you and I have, and then this world that's constructed by a creator has in relation to us, and again, vice versa, us in relation to it. It is meant to be empowering. It is meant to demystify. It is meant to roll back limiting thoughts and limiting beliefs about who you are and what you can accomplish based on guidelines in limiting, inhibiting dogmas, doctrines, and teachings. For you to know at the core of your being as a spiritual being made by a dynamic, powerful creator, how you relate to creation and how creation relates to you. And if you can embrace this teaching, you'll bypass your religious conditioning and operate in pure spiritual relationship with God in a conscious universe and actually live a fulfilled life. Now, let me pause here for station identification again. Don't forget to go to Patreon and read that article because I'm going to briefly reference some elements of the article today that I broke down about from quantum mechanics and quantum physics about the observer effect from the double slit experiment, discussing the consciousness of subatomic particles and our impact on the particles, and which again, subatomic particles make up atoms, atoms make up molecules, molecules make up cells. Do I need to keep going till we get to the parts of matter that we see are visible? They all go down to subatomic particles. An observation of a subatomic particle changed from wave or energy form, collapsed into a particle or physical form based on it being observed. I break that down in this second article so you can have an understanding of the scientific principle behind the things I'm discussing. But again, it's a scientific principle that describes the quantum dimension, also describes the physical dimension, their interconnectedness, and more importantly, our impact as consciousness and divine beings on the subatomic, the atomic, the cellular, and the physical world. This is powerful. Every day, you and I are having an impact on things around us. So I'm going to put up this diagram and let's look at it for a few minutes based on Mark 9:23. And we put the text up. We're going to explore universal principles of belief and possibility. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put up real quickly um, about the observer effect. The observer collapses wave into particle. Belief collapses possibility into experience reality, much like the wave function collapse, Heisenberg's uncertainty principle. Now, again, you have to go to my article to get some background, and I think it's explained in layman's terms because none of us consider ourselves to be scientists, but it's explained in a way where we could all understand how it impacts our world, how it impacts our reality. All right. But I'm going to go to the end and then I'm going to come back to the beginning real quickly here. Let me go to the end. Uh, and I use the term quantum spirituality. And the core belief is based on the observer effect from the double slit experiment that belief collapses potential into experience. Remember, Yeshua said, if thou canst believe, all things are possible. Possible in the text would be a direct relationship or direct correlation in quantum physics to a wave. Because when a subatomic particle is a wave, it is considered to be everything and all things, meaning it is unrealized potential, or it is potential, excuse me, that's unrealized, and it is potential that has not yet been decided what it's going to be. So they discovered that on that level, it's different from Cartesian and Newtonian physics because Cartesian Newtonian physics, things like gravity, inertia, and other things are very predictable. But on a quantum level, they aren't. An electron could be at one point. It is not, cannot be predicted if it disappears where it's going to reappear. And so they thought it was going to be predictable when they did this experiment to see how a wave would pass through two slits and leave a shadowy imprint on the other side. But they realized that it started acting differently once it was being observed by an instrument. This is the basis. What is that saying? What does that have to do with text? Well, again, potentiality is energy in potential form that is has no intention set, has no definition set, exists right now as I'm speaking. Belief holds the potential to unlimited possibilities. It is belief in a potential state until you, with intent, decide by faith what it is to be. Am I making any sense? So the observation, I use a term called collapse. Collapse means simply means it changed from a wave form into what they call a particle form or a physical form. They're sharing with us that through observation, by watching it, by paying attention to it, it changed the outcome of how the subatomic particles are working. So many have taken that principle and begun to realize that if this is having this kind of impact or working like this on this subatomic level that makes up all of the other basic building blocks of reality, all the way up to what we consider to be solid form, which again is really trillions and trillions of cells that make up the skin, all the way down to molecules, all the way down to atoms, all the way down to subatomic particles, electrons and protons and neutrons. They began to realize through experimentation that every day with thought based on what we believe as spiritual beings, we are crafting and shaping a reality. So look at the Christianity, and I want to show you how different belief systems are consistently from their inspiration speaking interlocking spiritual principles that Yeshua espoused in 923. And remember, since the foundation of this planet, these laws have always existed. I hope I'm getting some likes and hearts. Y'all kind of quiet right now on Facebook. I don't want to lose nobody. Am I making any sense to anybody thus far? Talk back to me. Talk back to me. Let me see some comments come up in the comment section. I want to make sure y'all still with me. Y'all still with me? Are y'all still with me? Okay, I see a couple of likes. I see a couple of likes. Are y'all still with me? Y'all still with a brother? Talk back to me real quickly. Want to make sure y'all still with me. I know I'm talking some heavy stuff tonight. All right. Look at the first slide here. Let me see. I'm waiting on some comments to come up in the comment section. All right. Phyllis say I hear you. Thank you, Phyllis. Thank you. Everybody else is quite silent and quiet in this moment. All right. Thank you. Somebody else says it makes sense. So we start with Mark 9:23 and Matthew 17:20. Faith releases divine action. Belief enables miracles. Okay. That faith, that faith again is representative in quantum physics of what is wave or potential, but it's intention with faith. It's what we are exercising faith to be, what we're deciding faith is to manifest. That's going to decide how it collapses into reality or is converted into something we can see physically or something we might not be able to see in terms of what we want to have done spiritually. I want you to catch that. Faith is intention, but faith also without an expectation, faith also without an assignment is merely potential, like the wave that is energy that makes up these subatomic particles of an atom. But once it is observed, it changes form based on how it is observed. This is what I want you to catch. This is what I want you to see. All right. Let's look at the next world religion, Judaism. The Kabbalah in particular, sources Derek Hashem. You see the sources at the top. The core belief is that consciousness shapes spiritual realms. Belief realigns divine energy. So here we go again. Consciousness, they believe, shapes spiritual realms. But they also believe belief realigns divine energy and from this consciousness to the spiritual to the physical. All right. Let's look at the next one, Islam or Sufism. The core belief is certainty and trust invites divine outcomes. So they believe that faith moves the divine to impact the physical dimension, to impact outcomes in the three-dimensional world. Hinduism, the core belief is that consciousness manifests reality. Belief is an act of self-realization. Here we go again. They believe that our consciousness, our thinking, and our believing, our core beliefs, our faith, and our awareness is what manifests reality. I'm going to get to an experiment in a minute. There's Buddhism. Mind precedes all phenomenon. Belief shapes karma. End quote. And you see where it's quoted from. Let's go to the next one. Taoism believes alignment with Tao activates cosmic flow. Belief harmonizes life. Again, belief harmonizes life, meaning all life, not just spiritual life, but physical life comes from belief. Zen Shingon, insight transforms reality. Belief becomes lived awareness. This is a core belief. I hope y'all catching on to what is being espoused, is what's being presented here. African spirituality. Belief invokes ancestral spiritual power through word and thought. Wow. Wow. And Hermeticism, which is very popular ancient beliefs, The source is the Kabbalion here. The universe is mental. Belief is causal force. Belief is causal force, meaning belief is the cause that creates the effect. New Thought says mind creates experience, belief affirms and manifests. I'm just giving you a survey here. Metaphysics says belief creates energetic blueprints. Reality is consciousness. I'm just showing you some stuff here. And then back to quantum spirituality, the observer effect. Belief collapses potential into experience. What I want you to see and what I want you to realize right now, before I pull out this study that Dr. Joe Dispenza shares in his book, Breaking the Habit of Being Yourself, I want you to understand right now, from religions who don't agree on everything, there's still a connecting thread of truth. That all this out here is not just created by something in another dimension we call God. It's not just being impacted by the creator, it's being impacted by us as creators. I want you to hear what I'm saying today. None of these religions I just quoted from believed the same thing 100%. But on this subject, this is one of the things where there is alignment, which means that somebody in that group who's also a spirit, like you are a spirit, had an experience to understand this truth, at least this truth, to pass on to those who were connected to them. Hear me, family. So for thousands of years, there are multiple religions, or multiple spiritual entities, or spiritual organizations, or spiritual groups who understand in consciousness and belief and thinking and the imagination is helping to carve and construct physical reality, the world that you and I live in today. Hear me. It's got nothing to do with who your savior is and who you believe. It has everything to do with knowing that you are a powerful, dynamic, spiritual being who has been designed to have an impact on all of this. This is responding to you. But in turn, you're living like you're responding to it. You don't understand that what you see that you call external is really a reflection of the internal. And what you think is coming from somebody else, even down to the expectation of having enemies, is really coming from you. Wow. Wow. I need to let that resonate a little bit. I got a few more minutes and I'm gonna shut it down. I want that to resonate in you. Ain't nobody talking about tongues in here, ain't nobody talking about running up and down the floor. This is how belief, this is how consciousness is impacting reality on the subatomic level. That's why I want you to talk about the observer effect. I talk about it in more detail in the article. You should read it. I want you to hear me. Now I'm going to give you a scientific experiment in just a few minutes that was done in this country that's going to further confirm this. You got to stop making excuses. We got to stop making excuses, about I didn't do this today, or I didn't act like this today, or somebody did this to me. No, that's you and I doing it to ourselves. Somewhere buried in your unconscious or your subconscious is a belief that's showing up in your world because you have been created by your creator to create and co-create and to manifest. This is why your thinking has a direct impact on the physical construct that you know as reality. Now, let me finish up here with an experiment that was done. Now, I remind you that what an EEG machine does is an EEG machine uh, is basically uh, recording electrical impulses that the brain generates. Some scientists believe that these electrical impulses creates a field that's unlimited, meaning that it doesn't just exist outside of us physically, or it's not just transmitted within a few feet of us. They believe that it's transmitted an unlimited distance. This is what some scientists are saying right now as it relates to these electrical impulses that creates a field, an electromagnetic field that somehow, some way, again transmits from us as spiritual beings into the universe that is both spiritual and physical. I want you to think about that. A cellular biologist, Glenn Ryan, PhD, conceived of a series of experiments to test healers' ability to affect biological systems. They decided to uh, not use DNA. Let me go on and read it. Since DNA is more stable than substances, I got that wrong, such as cells or bacterial cultures, he decided to have healers hold test tubes containing DNA. So they did use DNA. Let me keep reading. This study took place at the Heart Math Research Center in California. This is a real study. Type it in the comment section. This, these are facts. Type this in the comment section. These are facts. Please type that in the comment section for me. These are facts. What I'm sharing with you now are facts. This ain't something that's read and not proved. This is something that is that has been proven that I'm getting ready to share with you. Let me put this up because I forgot to put this in the comment section a few minutes ago and talking about the quantum field. Let me put it up. All right. Backtrack here. I put a note here. Quantum field theory and exists as a probability wave until consciously observed. Mark 9:23 says all things potential outcomes become possible when belief collapses the wave. I didn't get it all on there. All right. I'm gonna continue to read. This study took place at the Heart Math Research Center in California. The folks have conducted extraordinary research into the physiology of emotions, heart-brain interactions, and much more. So essentially, they and others have documented a specific link between our emotional states and our heart rhythms. Let me throw this in for free. Let me throw this in for free. Studies have proven that when we have negative emotions such as anger and fear, our heart rhythms become erratic and disorganized. I want you to understand that this is one of the reasons why they talk about heart rhythms becoming erratic and organized. This is why many people end up having heart attacks and sometimes strokes when they get too angry, or when they become too erratic, or when they become too emotionally volatile. They don't understand it throws your heart rhythm out of pace. That's free information. All right. He goes on to say, in contrast, positive emotions, love, joy, for instance, produce highly ordered, coherent patterns that heart math researchers refer to as heart coherence. Now, here's the study. In Dr. Ryan's experiment, he first studied a group of 10 individuals who were well practiced in using techniques that heart math teaches to build heart focused coherence. They applied the techniques to produce strong, elevated emotions such as love and appreciation. Then, for 2 minutes, they held vials containing DNA samples suspended in deionized water. When those samples were analyzed, no statistically significant changes occurred. So basically, what they did was they picked out a group of people who have been trained to understand the heart coherence, and they encouraged them to produce or generate strong emotions, things like love and joy and things like that for 2 minutes. Then they put a vial in their hands that had DNA in it. This is group one. And from group one, nothing happened to the DNA significant. Okay. Here's group two. The second group of trained participants did the same thing. So they elevated their emotions. They got real happy for about 2 minutes. But instead of just creating positive emotions, a feeling of love and appreciation, they simultaneously held an intention. They had an intention with their elevated emotion, a thought to either wind or unwind the strands of DNA. So this group generated thoughts and feelings of happiness and of love. But this time, this group had an intent. We're going to either wind up the DNA that we're holding in our hands, or we're going to unwind it. So the difference between group two and group one is they put an intention with elevated energy. This group produced statistically significant changes in the conformation or shape of DNA samples. In some cases, the DNA was wound or unwound as much as 25%. Now, hold up. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Some folk don't even think this is possible, that you can even, with a thought or with an emotion, impact your DNA. This study proved that with a feeling of love, the energy of love with an intention that I'm going to impact the DNA, actually change the DNA. What? They used to teach us that DNA was permanent. It's like if you inherited something, there's nothing you could do about it. If you inherited something, there's nothing you could change. They talked about if you inherited something, you just stuck with it. This study proved that with intention along with love, 25% of the DNA was impacted, family. It was wound or unwound as much as 25%. When I tell y'all I am powerful, this is what I'm trying, this is the message I'm trying to transmit to you. You really are powerful. Do you know in that DNA strand are messages, encoded messages about your physiology, your body functions, including sometimes the transmission, watch this, and I've talked about this, transgenerational trauma being passed on in genes, diseases being passed on. Do you hear what I'm saying? This is literally saying if this group could intentionally, family, impact the DNA by 25% simply by generating the emission, the level of love, the feeling of love, the energy of love with an intention, with an intent, purposely saying, I'm going to wind or unwind this DNA. And it actually happened. This is why I'm trying. This is the point of these messages. Ain't nobody talking in no tongues and rolling the floor. Ain't nobody begging nobody. It's simply them using the power that has been given to them by the Creator by design. Watch this, to impact your own self, your own physiology, your own body. This is why you never ever have to accept the diagnosis of a doctor. You are powerful enough as a divine species to heal yourself. Somebody help me. Somebody help me. Am I making any sense to anybody? I know some people want you to jump through hoops and call on names, and that's all good. But I'm trying to show you how God has designed for you and I to be. Here's a third group. A third group trained subjects of trained subjects held a clear intent to change the DNA, but they were instructed not to enter into a positive emotional state. In other words, they were only using thought intention to affect matter. And what was the result? No changes in the DNA samples. So do you see this? They were taught to, they were told to only use the intent to change it, but not with the elevated emotional and energy levels of love. Do you see that? So intent alone wasn't enough. They had to generate within themselves love, and the energy of love. Like group two was the only group that was able to impact their DNA. I want you to understand that an intentional thought needs the energizer. It needs a catalyst, and that is the energy of elevated emotion. And when you and I are exercising faith, it's not just a thought that's involved, but your whole being is involved. I can sense and feel in every fiber of my being when I'm actually exercising faith. And faith, again, in a state without an assignment, in a state without being aimed, is the wave. It is the energy. It is the potential. But then my observation or my intent with elevated energy creates the outcome of it. Lord have mercy. He goes on to say, when we combine an elevated emotion with an open heart and a conscious intention with clear thought, we signal the field to respond in amazing ways. And the field for us is the spiritual dimension. The quantum field responds not to what we want, it responds to who we are being. Wow. It responds to not what we want, but to who we are being. I said all that tonight, and I'm going to close to encourage you to understand that your thoughts and your intentions attached to whatever energy you put with it, family, is creating something. You are a spiritual being. You are a creator that's having an impact on space and time every moment of your life. Be careful of the negative emotion of depression and discouragement and despair that's uncontrolled. When you put an intention with that, family, you're going to manifest an outcome based on that emotion and that intention in the moment. But I encourage you and I dare you to recognize your power. Even from this study that I cited today, you have God-given permission and power to change your own DNA. Wow. And guess what? I'll get into it later. If you can change your DNA, you can change your brain. You can change your body. You can change your memory. Come on now, somebody. I am powerful. I want you to type it in the comment section real quickly. I am powerful. Come on, type it in the comment section real quickly. I am powerful. Come on, type it in the comment section. I am powerful. Ooh, I feel it. Do you feel it? Do you sense it? Do you know it? Yes, you ought to be thanking God that you are made this way. You ought to be thanking God that you are permitted as spiritual beings who are just living in a physical house to operate in a power to heal and to create whatever world you believe. The giving opportunities are on the screen right now, and I hope that you would donate, that you would show some love by using Cash App $AG Green, $AG Green Enterprises. You don't have to just give it tonight. You might think about us later and how this word has impacted you, and come back next week and give. It don't matter. Use the giving opportunities when you can and share your donation. And I promise you, I am most thankful in advance. And I promise you, it will be put to good use. Quickly, tell me what you thought about the presentation tonight, the teaching tonight, and I'm going to sign off. What you think about the teaching tonight? Talk to me. Real quickly, what did you think about the teaching tonight? Did it make sense? And don't forget, you can hook up the rest of the stuff when you read the article on Patreon. But what did you think about it? Real quickly, tell me what you thought about it. Real quickly, let me see your comments in the comments section. Let me see them in the comments section, and I'm looking for this Cash App to go off. I'm thanking you for your donations in advance. Okay, let's see. Let's see here. So interesting and informative. Love it. Yes, sister, watch the replay. Tell me what you think. Watch the replay and tell me what you think, sister. Let's see. She said brain reconstructing. Absolutely. It's called neuroplasticity. Neuroplasticity is what it's called. I'll be getting deeper and deeper into that subject as well. Very enlightening. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. You don't have to make it hard, family. We don't have to jump through hoops. We've been taught we got to jump through hoops to get a certain result or to get God to heal you, to do everything for you. This teaching tonight is just one of hundreds you're going to hear from me, if not thousands. That's going to show you that on a basic, fundamental, spiritual, and physical, anatomical orientation and design, you are impacting your reality every day. She said it made sense. We put everything together instead of siloing the way he made us versus physical. Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. All right. And I thank you again for your love. I thank you again for your prayers. I'm releasing you with the shalom blessing. Shalom, shalom, peace, wholeness, and prosperity. Nothing missing and nothing broken. See many of you in a few days. Love you. Enjoy your evening.